Lately, I've noticed something strange about the way I play games. I used to get excited when I saw a new challenge. Now I just look for the fastest way to skip it. Not because I want to, but because the game is already doing it for me. I have a problem with linear gaming, not because the games are bad, but because the player gets removed from the equation. Games that force me to go from A to B to then complete a task and move on, and I lose interest. Mostly because I want to choose how I get from A to B and how to complete the task. That's where the fun is. So let me throw you a comparison in here. A lot of single player games are like these theme park rides. They're beautiful, but completely on rails. You follow the path, hit the checkpoints, watch the cutscenes, and then you move to the next section. And yeah, that works for some people, but it never really clicked with me. Then that's why I tend to drift towards online or PvP games. Not for the toxicity, but for the variables. Games where no two runs feel the same, where you're forced to adapt on the fly. And that kind of randomness, that puzzle-like feel in the moment, it's what pulled me into Cayo Perico. So let me introduce you to it. So Cayo Perico is a heist in GTA Online with one main objective, steal a high-value item from Mr. Rubio. But there's a lot more going on under the surface, and that's where the good stuff lives. Secondary loot is scattered across the island through sheds, warehouses, and hangars, each with a different value. You also have tools such as bolt cutters, grapples, uniforms, and they spawn randomly across the map. You know their locations when you're doing the initial scout. Depending on what spawns and where, your route is going to have to change during the finale. If your best loot's at the hangar and uniforms are nearby, you're going to take the Valum approach, going as a member of the staff. If the gear is at the docks but looked in the jungle, maybe take the Longfin approach and try to stealth it in. If it's all in the middle of the map, you could try to halo jump and then hit the compound head on. And yeah, I know some of you always take the submarine, that gets you scuba access to the compound. But if you're running solo, there's a big catch. You'll miss on one of the elite challenge requirements, which is a full loot bag. Now, because solo players can open the double keycard doors in Rubio's mansion, you're gonna be missing out. We're here to max the payout. We're here to complete the puzzle. That's what made it fun. Every run was a new combination of tools, loot, routes, and risks. So to illustrate my point here, we're gonna be taking almost the same path, but slightly different loot choices. In one run, I filled my bag with low value cash and single coke brick. Another run, I went for this high value loot, coke and nothing else. Another run, I just mixed it all up. More or less the same approach, more or less the same strategy, but the only thing that changed was the different value in loot. But the payout was nearly identical. We're talking about maybe 20k difference. And to put it in perspective, just in case you never played this heist, it's pocket change, it's nothing. So on top of all this, it's what I call the equalizer, the office safe at Rubio's compound, which tops off your bag depending on the loot you already have in, which in turn means you always gonna be walking away with the exact same payout. So this means that all those routes, tools, and risks, they don't really matter anymore. There's no real reason to plan or to take a risk or adjust the approach because there's no real difference in outcome. So people call Cayo repetitive, and I used to defend it, saying only if you make it so. If you always take the sub and never explore different paths, it's going to get stale. But that was on the player. You could still solve it your way. You have the choice to make it stale. Now, there's no reason to even try. There's no incentive to mix it up. There's no reward for taking the harder route or to explore any different path. And if you think that's just in Cayo, look at everything else. Look at anything else, newer content, not just on GTA Online, but everything else we've been getting. Most of it is just linear gigs with timers, stealth multipliers, and a fixed payout. There's no loot value to it. There's no gear that changes your path. There's the only variable. It's how long you can stay quiet before the alarm trips. Games used to make you solve something. Now they just want you to complete something. Go from A to B, survive the brawl, done, good job, next. And what really bugs me isn't that just games are getting simpler, is that they're becoming predictable. Even when they pretend to offer choice, the outcome gets flattened, so nothing you do really matters. There's no point following clues or figuring things out. Everything is on rails. And when even a heist like Cayo starts to feel like a scripted single-player level, I think something is wrong. The randomness, the risk, the reward, it's all being smoothed out in favor of efficiency. And the more that happens, I think the more boring everything else becomes. People say Cayo is repetitive, and maybe it is, but I still take that over 10 hours of hitting the right buttons of something entirely on rails. I want to have a say on how things are planned and how they're going to be played out. Now, most new content doesn't even try to give you that anymore. And if every single mission ends up the exact same way, no matter how you play it, what's the point of playing it at all? It's like gaming's version of everyone gets the medal. And if everyone gets one, then why run the race? Thanks for riding shotgun. Bish signing out.